What's happening, my friends? It's Cat Sports again, back for another afternoon with the family. Now, as usual, before I get started, let me give a shout out to the JBT community. It's just boxing talk. We're a group of people who just love to talk boxing. And we're always looking for others to join us. You don't have to have a podcast. The only requirement is you just have to love to talk boxing. That's all. Miss Cass, hashtag JBT. Mike Masick. Mike Grimm back in the building. Salute to everyone. And welcome to another episode of Cat Sports, the Box Historian. Today, the life and career of Willy Pep. Excuse me. How's everybody? Excuse me. How's everybody doing this Friday afternoon? You know what time it is. If it's Monday through Friday at 2 p.m., it's the Box Historian. And that's me, your friendly neighborhood box historian, bringing you all that boxing history. Boxing, the greatest sport of them all. And that's why we love it and can't get enough of it. Boxing, that's our sport. Tim Layton, hashtag JBT in the building. Salute Tim Layton. How are you today, bro? Always good to see you. Tim Layton, hashtag JBT, just boxing talk. What we're getting ready to do. Today, the life and career of Willy Pep. It's Friday, time for the profile. And it's a will o' the wisp today. Master technician, superb defensive fighter. As you can say, the highlight of his career was those 4 fights with Sandy Sadler. That's what he's most remembered for his defense. One of the top featherweights. And the 4 Sandy Sadler fights. We're going to look at them. At the end, we're going to take a deep dive into the Willy Pep Sandy Sadler fights. The last one, arguably the dirtiest fight of all time. They went to the mat numerous times, and one time they even took the referee to the mat with them. I think the referee let it get kind of out of control. But after their careers, they became friends, and they went around doing exhibitions together. So, it all turned out good. We got a boxing card tonight, by the way. Yep. I know at the beginning of the week we did, and then we're supposed to have 3 tomorrow. The big one, the rematch. Jack Catterall versus Josh Taylor. Of course, it's widely believed that Jack Catterall was robbed in the first fight. Jack won a split decision. And what makes it so significant, it was for undisputed. There's 19 people now undisputed in the 4-belt era. And there's 9 men and 10 women. And Jack Catterall was robbed of having his name in the record books. Yep. But at least he gets another chance tomorrow to beat Josh Taylor. And Josh Taylor dropped off. Well, he dropped 3 of the belts, and then Teofimo took the 4th one from him. Didn't give Jack an opportunity to fight for the belts again. But I got Jack Catterall again. I think it'll be kind of similar to the first fight. Yeah. It was a great fight. Ant McQueen broke it down the other night. Yeah. On the Casuals Corner. NBA playoffs going on. Let's take a quick look at what's going on there, like I'm doing daily, since we're down to the NBA version of the Final Four. We had game 2 of Indiana and Boston. It was back in Boston. Boston went up 2-0 in the series, won both of their first games at home. Indiana didn't get to steal one. Boston won last night, 126-110, led by Jaylen Brown with 40 points. 10 rebounds from Al Horford. 10 assists from Jrue Holiday. In a losing cause, Patrick Siakam had 28 points for the Pacers. Then tonight is game 2 in the Western Conference. Dallas at Minnesota once again. Dallas stole game 1 in a row win to lead that series 1-0. And game 3 of the Celtics and Pacers will be tomorrow. The series switches to Indiana tomorrow. Indiana needs this one because Boston will have a very commanding 3-0 lead. If they can get that one, it's just about over. Then, yeah. But that's the NBA. NBA action is fantastic. Yeah, Mike, I gave it to them when they got that big man from the Wizards. I can't even think of his name. I don't know if he's still injured. But yeah, once they made that trade in the offseason, I gave Boston a championship. And they've been winning without it because he got injured, remember? So Boston is looking good. Only one I gave a chance of beating them was Denver. Denver got eliminated in the last round, so there won't be a repeat. But NBA action is fantastic. But today we are talking boxing. It's just boxing talk, not just basketball talk. And it's Willy Pep today. It's the profile. It's Friday. Everybody ready for the weekend. It's back upon us. And it's a long one this week. Memorial Day weekend. This is the official beginning of the summer. Although summer doesn't officially begin until June. But they call Memorial Day the official beginning. And the weather has gotten beautiful. Close to 80 up here in Baltimore today. And Mike Mason is a Celtics fan. Yeah, they got the squad this year. The fans up there in Boston is chanting MVP for Jason Tatum when he gets to that free throw line. He's got a good chance for it. I think they announced it during the finals. I wouldn't be mad if Jason gets it. Yeah. But we will see. I think he should. And Dallas win that game tonight. Minnesota is in trouble. Then they're going to Dallas. Get one of the first 2 in Dallas. That's it. That's a wrap. No one has ever came back from a 3-1. I don't know. I know in the finals they haven't. But it's hard to come back from 3-1. You know, you got to win 3 games straight in the playoffs. That's hard to do because everybody's playing hard this time of year. But the cards to boxing tomorrow, I really don't know too much about them. I know there's the women's fight on, championship fight on one of the cards tomorrow as the headliner. Dina Thorslin. 2 belts on the line. So we got a lot of boxing action this week. Then we got AB coming up pretty soon. I think AB is June I think it's May. I'm not sure, but I know it's AB should be coming up very soon. It may be the last week in May or the first week in June. March the 25th, and the next Saturday will be June. I think that's the AB card. And I know we got the big one from Saudi Arabia next weekend too. Deontay Wilder and Zhilei Zhang. That was supposed to be Bivol and Beterbiev, but Beterbiev got injured. And Bivol is fighting somebody else on the card, but they moved him out of the main event. He's fighting this guy from Libya. It wasn't a main event fight, so they moved Wilder and Zhang into the main event. Already on the card, that's a good main event there, anywhere in the world. So that's the main event now from Saudi Arabia. Next weekend, we got the fights lined up. I think June 8th is Patrick Cesaro and Dan Desires. Then you know what happens June 15th? The face of boxing. Gervonta Tank Davis versus Frank Martin. And also Subriel Matias fights Liam Perro on that same day. Yeah, that's going to be a big week of boxing. There's only 2 weeks away, 2 weeks from tomorrow. Face of boxing back in there. We got Boots this summer. Got them lined up. And who can forget that August 3rd card? Wow. Bud, Pitbull, Tim Zoo, Virgil. This card full of main events. There's Trump. Salute, Trump. I was just talking about you yesterday. I was wondering where you were. But Trump is back in the building. What's happening, Trump? Good to see you again, bro. Trump says, salute, Cass and Jet. Everyone is enjoying the beginning of the weekend. Hope everyone is enjoying the beginning of the weekend. Yeah. We're going to talk about Willy Pep for the next couple hours. I hope everybody enjoys that. It's good to see Trump again. Salute. Gave me the idea for the last week profile was brought to you by Trump. No, the week before, Salvador Sanchez. Last week was Sonny Liston. Did anybody have any ideas for shows you would like to see or profile on Friday? Just put it in the chat. Because remember, on Wednesdays will always be a show that I get out of the chat. Remo got me that like 5 or 6 something lined up. I would like to slip somebody else's ideas in there too. This Wednesday was brought to you by Al Booker, the judges. Yeah. So what's going on with that, Ryan? I tell you, man, everybody always say how the sanctioning bodies and the state commissions with all these rules vary from state to state is bad for boxing. But some of these fans are bad for boxing too. I was in this chat last night and this guy was up on the panel and he was just killing Ryan about cheating and all this and all that. You could tell he was a Devin fan because he made some kind of statement about Ryan was on the PEDs and Devin was still controlling the fight. Now, I don't remember Devin controlling the fight. He had his moments, but I don't think he was ever in control. And then, so I mentioned in the chat about the situation they've been talking about with the Devin and Regis fight in the weight. Now, he was killing Ryan about cheating, and all of a sudden he just went on the defensive. And that's just, that's a fanboy. Like, no issue at all with the weight that everybody's talking about now. So, that's kind of bad for these fans that's fans of fighters instead of fans of the sport. Now, we have some good Devin fans. I own Being Boxing News is a good Devin fan. He's a fan of boxing first. You like who you like, but, put the sport ahead of the fight. But the guy just all of a sudden just went on the defensive when Devin's name and cheating came up. No possibility. And that's bad for the sport. That's what I would touch on that because that was kind of ridiculous. We're going to get started in about 5 more minutes. But it's a great time to be a sports fan. Also, the NHL playoffs are going on too. Baseball rolling along. And then June is next week. And then July. NFL on its way back around. See what happened with my Ravens this year. Time for Kansas City to let somebody else win it. But we'll see. But just a great time to be a sports fan. I'm not going to go over the cards, the fight cards, because I really don't know too much about anybody on them, to tell you the truth. Except for Jack Catterall, Josh Taylor. Like I said, it's a women's championship fight, 2 belts on the line. But we got some big ones coming up, though, very soon. So we're in great shape. And don't forget the JBT raffle going on for the 55-inch TV. Just get a ticket for $10. I'm going to put this Cash App in the chat. You just send $10 to this Cash App, and you're in. I think we got like 6 people in so far. I'm the treasurer. They put me in charge of the money. Yep. Not KBT Cash, JBT. Trying to get this cash up in the chat for you in case anybody want to get in it and then take the chance of winning that 55-inch TV. Watch the fights in style on a brand new 55-inch. And the winner will be announced June 13th at the JBT meet and greet. And if you're not in attendance, we will get the TV to you. You don't have to pay any kind of postage, handling anything. Just wait for your TV to arrive. You wait for them to bring it off the truck, knock on your door. Here's your TV. Okay. $ JBT Network 1, all in caps, just like that. There it is. There's the Cash App. If you want to get into the raffle, just drop $10 to that, and you're in. Or if you want 2 tickets, $20. You want 10 tickets, $100. You know, that will enhance your chances. I'm thinking about getting in it, but the appearance of me winning it wouldn't be good, would it? So I'll just keep watching my 2 old 55 inches TV. Yeah, the will or the with, Willy Pep. He got that nickname from his boxing style. One guy said fighting Willy Pep was like trying to stomp out a brush fire. Just chasing Willy all over the ring. And if your footwork is atrocious, you probably really don't have a chance against Willy. As far as defense, I put Willy right up there with Floyd and Pernell Whitaker. If you've never seen Willy fight, yeah, that kind of defense, you know. Yeah, Sweepy Whitaker, he stand right up in the pocket and you couldn't hit it. And Willy is on that level. Just a few others, but those are my top 3. And when I did my Cash Sports all-time top 10 boxers list, Willy Pep was number 4. Only ones in front of him for me was Henry Armstrong, Muhammad Ali, and Sugar Ray Robinson. Other than that 3, I call Willy the tops. Right up there, top 5 all time for me. And we're going to talk about him in a very few minutes. The will or the with, Willy Pep. Yeah, that's him. Bad man. I'm going to go to the top of my, it's hitting buttons and stuff. My big hands. I'm going to go to the top of my slide display now. No, I'm not at the top yet. Sometimes I'm at the top and trying to go to the top and it won't move. And I wonder why it won't move because it's already at the top. Music level is good. That's a little low. Bear with me for a minute. We're going to get ready to get started. E-Class in the building. Salute E-Class. Yeah, Willy was like that. E-Class, yeah. For that featherweight his entire career. Let's talk fashion. AKA Remo. Hashtag JBT in the building. Salute to E-Class and Remo. Just made their appearances for the Willy Pep profile. Yeah, he was like that, E-Class. Pull him up. Check him out, man. That last 4th Sandy Sadler fight was a deuce. It was called the dirtiest fight of all time. They went to the mat numerous times, and one time they was grappling and doing so much stuff, they took the referee to the mat with them. I think the referee name was Ray Miller. He kind of let it get out of control. Lost control of the fight, you know? Yeah. But then, after their careers, Willy Pep and Sandy Sadler became friends, and they went around and did some exhibitions together after they retired. Yeah. You know, I guess, like I was saying yesterday, you beat up on each other 4 times. You know, you get a respect for each other. You know, Sadler won 3 out of the 4. And he stopped Willy Pep. Only man to stop Willy Pep. And you stopped Willy Pep. But you fought him 4 times. I guess you got to know him. It's pretty hard to stop a good defensive fighter like Willy Pep. But Sandy Sadler did it. Somebody said it was twice, but I'm thinking it was once. I couldn't find. But at the end of the profile, I'm going to dig in, go and do a deep dive into all 4 of those fights. Okay, just look at all 4 Willy Pep and Sandy Sadler fights. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. I thought I had another picture of them, but I don't. Okay, let's get ready to get started. The Will o' the Wisp, the life and career of Willy Pep today. Thought I had some more pictures of Willy. Oh, that's him and Sandy Sadler right there. It's not time for that yet. That's him and Sandy Sadler again. Great series of fights. There's Willie. Okay. The life and career of Willy Pep. Appreciate everybody stopping by today to check out the show. Okay. Now, his name was Guglielmo Papaleo. Okay, better known as Willy Pep. He was born September 19th, 1922. Okay. And he held the World Featherweight Championship twice between the years of 1942 and 1950. They fought out of the orthodox style, okay, orthodox stance. Fought in the featherweight division his entire career. Now, he did fight a couple of bantamweight, but I believe they were going for his title, okay, featherweight. Now, he was 5'5", 5'5" inches tall, had a reach of 68 inches. And during his professional career, he had a total of 241 fights. Okay. He won 229, lost 11, and had 1 draw, 65 knockouts. And Willy Pep was one of the greatest boxers of all time. Widely thought of as one of the greatest boxers of all time. Now, he was an extraordinary athlete. There's Azim Shabazz. Salute, Azim. Yeah, we're gonna be up there in Philly for the Boots fight. A whole bunch of us from the JBT. Yeah, we're gonna be there. We have our little meet and greet there. But salute, Azim Shabazz. Good to see you, bro. Welcome aboard. Talking about Willy Pep today. I had the marker to keep my place and I still lost it. That's crazy. Okay. Let's continue. Yeah. Had a total of 241 fights. And that's a lot. They fought a lot back then, but that's 241 is a lot for that era. Okay. And of those 11 losses, that's just 5% of his fights. Okay. Out of 241 fights, he only lost 5% of them. Okay. Just think about that. Are you going to the Boots Cody Crowley fight, Azim? We're gonna be up there. Remo, gonna be there. Let's talk fashion. Remo already got his ticket. Now, Willy Pep was an extraordinary athlete with a brilliant personality and willpower that allowed him to never give up in the face of adversity when he was fighting. He always gave his best in the ring and during his training session, demonstrating the strength of mind and character of a true champion. Now, let's look at Willy's early life. Now, he was born into an Italian family in Middletown, Connecticut. His father, Salvatore, his father was from Rossellini, Italy, and his mother, Marchese, she was from Lilly, Italy. And Willy grew up in the Little Italy neighborhood of Hartford, Connecticut. Okay. That was a tough neighborhood. And he took up boxing to defend himself from the bullies who often targeted him. Al Booger in the building. What's up, Al Booger? How are you today, bro? Yeah, that was the reason he took up boxing, because the bullies always picked on him. Okay. Because he was in a tough neighborhood, Little Italy in Hartford, Connecticut. Now, he left school at the age of 16, and he sold newspapers and shined shoes to make a living. And in Connecticut at that time, amateur boxers could get paid. So Willie started using the money from his amateur fights as income to help his family out, okay? And he was making much more from the fights than he was from selling newspapers and shining shoes. Now let's look at his career, Willy Pep. Now, Willy Pep boxed a total of 1,956 rounds in his 241 total fights. His career spanned over 26 years. And that's like I said, that's a large number of rounds and fights for that era. Okay, they fought a lot in that time. And Willie, 241, over 1,900 rounds. That's a lot even for then. And Willie was known for his speed, finesse, and one of the best fighters of the 20th century. Okay. This was the guy I was talking about. A fighter named Kid Campeche. He described his experience fighting Willy Pep by saying, "It's like trying to stomp out a grass fire." You know, Willie's all over the place. You better have some good footwork in there against Willie, or you're in trouble. And Pep was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in the inaugural year of 1990 in the old timers category. And he was voted the #1 featherweight of all time. Excuse me, #1 featherweight of the 20th century by the Associated Press. And the International Boxing Research Organization, they ranked him the #1 featherweight of all time in 2005. And he is currently ranked by BoxRec as the 28th greatest pound-for-pound fighter overall of all time. That's high praise from BoxRec. 28th overall, pound for pound. Okay. Now, okay, let's look at his amateur career. Now, he began his amateur career in 1937. And like I was saying at the time, amateur boxers from Connecticut were allowed to fight for money. And it was during the Great Depression. And Pep's father was earning $15 per week at the Works Progress Administration. And at his shoe shining job, he worked with a friend named Johnny Dukes. And they joined the gym together and became sparring partners. And when his parents, they didn't know it was boxing at first. When his parents found out he was boxing, his mother was worried for him. But his father said, if he was working so much fighting on Fridays, maybe he should start fighting on Tuesdays as well. Bring a little bit more money in, you know. Dad wasn't worried. Dad told him to fight even more. You know, his mother was worried, but not his father. That was income. He said, don't just fight on Friday. You know, go and get some Tuesday fights also. And despite being an amateur, Willie displayed outstanding boxing skills. And he won numerous amateur championships in Connecticut. In 1938, he fought Sugar Ray Robinson in the attic of a feed store in Norwich, Connecticut. Now, according to a later telling of the story by Pep, at the time, Robinson was an amateur champion in the state of New York where amateurs were not paid for fighting. So Sugar Ray used another name to get fights for money in Connecticut. And because of this, Willy Pep didn't know who he was fighting at the time. And before the fight, some of his people told him his unknown opponent was not that good, right? But Pep recalled quickly, learning otherwise once the fight began. He said later, Sugar Ray was all over him. Now, he had 65 amateur fights during his career, and he won 62 of them. And at 18 years old, he turned professional. 18 years old. Okay. Okay, doing my best, Azim. Appreciate you stopping by. Okay, let's look at Willy Pep's professional career. Okay. Now, he was 18 years old and he had his first fight on July 10th, 1940. He won a 4-round fight by decision. It was in Hartford, Connecticut. And like many other boxers of the first half of the 20th century, Pep concentrated his early fighting career in boxing in New England. And his first 25 contests was between Connecticut and Massachusetts. He was undefeated during this span. In his 26th fight, he finally won a Western fight. And he won that fight by knockout in the first round in Thompsonville, Michigan. Then, a couple fights later, he fought in California, won another 4-round decision in Los Angeles. And by the time he stepped up his quality of opposition, he was 41-0. And then his next fight after that was against former world champion Joey Archibald. Oh, I forgot all about my slide display. Isn't that something? I was supposed to show you Sugar Ray Robinson. Here's Sugar Ray, who Pep fought up in that attic. He didn't even know who he was going in there to fight. His people told him that he was going up there against a guy that wasn't too good because Sugar Ray had changed his name because he couldn't get paid in New York when he came to Connecticut. And Willie said by the time it was over, he knew who it was then. Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more in the building. What's up, Bruce Gas? Salute. Yeah, I saw that movie, Bruce. That was very good. Yeah, Bruce Gas sent me a link to the Willy Pep movie. But anyway, yeah. Once he became 41-0, he stepped up, and his next fight was against former world champion, a guy named Joey Archibald. Okay? There's Joey. There's Joey Archibald. He looks something like Willy Pep. That's not Willie. That's Joey Archibald. I thought it was Willie at first, too. That was his first step-up fight. And Joey was a former world champion. And Willie beat him by a 10-round decision. Okay? And in his next fight, it was a championship fight against the New England area featherweight champion. Okay? That's like a minor title. And Pep won that by a 12-round decision. And that was his first professional title, albeit a minor one. It was the New England area featherweight champion. But his status among the world's top featherweights continued to climb. And in 1942, at 52-0, he was given his first world championship fight, okay, in October of that year. And that was against Chalky Wright. Okay. He fought the world featherweight champion. That was his first title fight. Chalky Wright. Okay, here's Chalky. Chalky on the left. Okay. That's him and Willy Pep. And he became the world featherweight champion by outpointing Chalky over 15 rounds. And this fight was at the Garden, Madison Square Garden. And when he won that fight, he became the youngest featherweight champion in 4 decades, okay? Since like the 20s. He became the youngest featherweight champion in 4 decades. Yep. And around that time, he was dominating the featherweight division, you know, with his lightning fast and agile style, exceptional footwork, and incredible boxing skills. He used the entire ring to frustrate his opponents. Now, he began 1943 by winning 6 fights in a row. And that by that time, his record was 62-0, okay? And he had just been fighting for 4 years. 62-0, that's like 2 careers nowadays of these guys. You just listen to that. 4 years, he was 62-0, featherweight champion of the world. But in his 7th fight in 1943, he suffered his first loss. Sammy Angat. There's Sammy. Okay? That was the first man to beat Willy Pep. And then guess what? He had his next fight just 10 days later. Okay? He suffered his first loss, then he fought again 10 days later. Okay, he got right back in there. And he won that one. Okay? 10 days later. So he wanted to get back in the winning ways immediately. And he did. Then, 1944 was a very good year for Willy Pep. Okay? In 1944, Willie won 16 fights, including wins over bantamweights. That's what I told you, he fought a couple bantamweights. He had a couple wins over bantamweight champions. Willie Joyce and Manuel Ortiz. I've talked about Manuel Ortiz before. Then he beat Chalky Wright 2 more times. And his featherweight title was only on the line in one of those fights. And then in 1944, he also fought outside the United States for the first time. He won a fight up in Canada. Okay. There's Jay Hardcore in the building. What's up, Jay Hardcore? The Wisp, Willy Pep today, Jay. We're up to 1944. He's the featherweight champion of the world. Okay. Jay Hardcore, hashtag JBT. Salute. Yeah, he fought his first fight outside the United States. Won a fight up in Canada. Then he had 8 fights in 1945. He won 7 of them, and he had 1 draw that year. Okay? 1 draw in 1945. And in doing that stretch, he beat former world champion Phil Caranava to retain the title. And that's when he had his, and that draw was with Jimmy McAllister. Okay, just to put that on the record, that was his 1 draw. There's Jimmy right there. Okay, he had a draw with Willie. That was okay. He had 1 loss and 1 draw at that point. We're in 1945. Okay. Then, in 1946, he had 18 fights. Okay? 18 fights. In 1946, like I was telling you, although he had 240... Oh, wait a minute now. Let me go back. I forgot how many total fights he had. Excuse me. Come on, buddy. Where is it? he had 240 professional fights altogether, right? And he that's a lot for that era. You know how they fought back then. 240 something fights is a lot even for that era. Okay. But anyway, we're up to 1945. I lost my paper. I was writing the names down. But anyway. Okay, there it is. Keep track of everybody that come in. I had lost my paper momentarily. But we're back. Now, like I said, 1946, he had 18 fights in that 1 year. And guess what? He won every one of them. With 18-0 in 1946. Including I wrote Jay Hardcore's name on the paper where I got my fighters at. Oh, I was messing up. Excuse me. I'm looking at the fighters that's on the profile that he fought, and there's Jay Hardcore's name. Fight Willy Pep, Jay. Put it on the wrong paper. Okay, we're back. Okay, 1946. I'm out of order. Okay, yeah, he fought Sal Bartolo. There he is. I see Sandy Sadler in there, yeah. He won 18 fights in 1946, including a knockout of Sal Bartolo and another he fought Chalky Wright again. This is the fourth fight between them. This time he got Chalky out of there in the third round. Okay. And during that 18 fights that he won in 1946, he had a 6-fight knockout streak in there. Okay. So then in 1947, he was flying home from a training camp in Miami when the plane he was on crashed in some woods. Now, he survived the plane crash, but he suffered some serious injuries, severe injuries, including a broken leg and a fractured vertebrae. And when the doctors told him that he was through, he said to the doctor, "Yeah, I'm through flying at night." Yeah. And he made an impressive recovery from that plane crash, coming back to the boxing gym and returning to insane fights in that same 10 fights in that same year. He had a plane crash earlier that year, broke his leg and fractured vertebrae, and came back and had 10 fights and won all 10 of them, okay, in 1947. Now, many people thought that he had lost something as a result of the plane crash, right? Especially after he unexpectedly struggled against Archie Wilmer and Pedro Viasca. And he only defended his title once that year. A lot of fights was non-title fights. But the one title fight, he knocked out Jock Leslie. Okay, knocked Jock out in 12 rounds. But 1947 was a little rough for him. He had the plane crash and struggled in a couple fights. But he did come back and fought 10 more times. Like I told you, the doctor told him he was through. He said, "Yeah, I'm through flying at night, but I'm not through with boxing." And he wasn't. Ray Patterson in the building. What's up, Ray Patterson? Straight out of New Jersey. RP in the building. New Jersey. Home of Just Do Boxing and Slick Shakur Stevenson. And RP, Ray Patterson. And he's made his appearance into the building. Now, 1948 was a year that would become very important in Pep's life. Now, he won 15 fights that year. And then he had his first fight of the 4-fight series that year with Sandy Sadler. And at the end of this, I'm going to go over those 4 fights with Sadler. Take a look at them when we finish the profile. Yeah. Yeah, him and Sandy had 4 fights. We're gonna cover that. Okay. All right. Likes looking good. Ooh-wee. Am I gonna get 40 today? I'm gonna get it one of these days. But yeah, 1948 was when the 4-fight series with Sandy Sadler began. Now, his first fight with Sandy Sadler was on October 29th, 1948. And he lost his title to Sandy, okay, by a 4th round knockout. Now, I was saying that Sandy knocked Willie was such a good defensive fighter, and Sandy knocked him out because they got to know him, but I was wrong. Sandy knocked him out in the first fight. Wow. You had to be bad to knock Willy Pep out. Okay. And after the Sadler fight, he won the next 2. Then in 1949, he fought Sandy again. And he recovered his world featherweight title. This time, he got a 15-round decision over Sandy in the second fight. And then after the second Sandy fight, he engaged in a couple of exhibitions in 10-round fights. Then he went up and defended his title against Eddie Campo. That was his next fight. Eddie Campo. Knocked him out in the 7th round. Then he finished 1949. He fought another former bantamweight champion, Harold Dade. Got him by decision. 1950, he won 9 fights. Then that came up to the 3rd fight against Sandy Sadler. Like I said, I'm going to these fights in depth after I finish this. In 1950 was the 3rd fight with Sandy Sadler. Okay. And then the first fight, Sadler took his title. The second fight, Pep took it back. The 3rd fight, Sadler took it back. Took the title from Willie again. Okay. This time, Pep was unable to continue, come out for the 8th round, okay, due to a separated shoulder he suffered during the fight. He suffered a separated shoulder at the end of the 7th round. And guess what? Pep was ahead on all 3 judges' cards at the time. Out of the first 7 rounds, he won 5 of them on 2 judges' cards and 4 of them on the other. So he had a pretty good lead when he separated his shoulder and couldn't continue. So Sandy took the title back from him at that point. Yep. Then 1951. He won 8 fights in a row to start 1951. For his 4th and final fight with Sandy Sadler. And that was his most important fight of the year. And this time he's had to stop again because of blood from his right eye was bothering him. Okay, and this was the fight where people call this the dirtiest fight in history. And according to Nat Fleischer from Ring Magazine, in the December 1951 issue, Nat Fleischer wrote, "This was an extremely dirty fight with wrestling, heeling, eye gouging, tripping, thumbing. In fact, every dirty trick known to the old timers." So Sandy retained the title. Remember, he took it back from Willy Pep in the 3rd fight, and Willie had to stop in the 8th round because of his eye he was bleeding pretty bad, blood. You know. So in 1952, he had 12 fights. He won 11 of them. He got knocked out by a guy named Tommy Collins. Okay, there's Tommy. Yeah, he knocked Willy Pep out in 1952. Tommy Collins. But he had 2 wins over Billy Lima that year. And in 1953, he won all 11 of his fights. Okay, won all 11 of them. And he entered 1954 on a 17-fight win streak. Then he lost his first fight in 54 to French contender Lulu Perez by TKO. But he came back from that loss by finishing the year with 3 wins. Then he continued boxing for 5 more years. He retired in 1960. But he didn't stay retired. He came back in 1964. Lonnie Lee, hashtag JBT in the building, and JBT Network. This J Hardcore give me another like. Appreciate you, J Hardcore. And salute Lonnie Lee, hashtag JBT. We're probably gonna have some link time today too. But Lonnie Lee, hashtag JBT, has made his daily entrance into the building. Okay. Yeah, Pep retired in 1960, but 4 years later, in 1964, he came back, and he fought for another 2 years. And during that last period, he won 43 and lost 5. Okay, remember he had he had 260 fights altogether. That's right. Yeah. But his only opponent of note during that comeback was Kid Bassie. And Kid was a future featherweight world champion. And he knocked Pep out in the 9th round. Then in his last fight in 1965, he lost to Calvin Woodland by a 6th round decision. And it was time for him to retire, because he was a great fighter, former champion, and now he was down to fighting 6th rounders, so it was time to get out, Willie. And he retired for good after that fight. Salute Thomas Morris, Coach Thomas Morris in the building. Talking about Willy Pep, coach. He's gonna have a little link time today because Florida's mentality in the building. Florida's mentality and Black excellence, hosted by Dr. Mark in the building. What's up, Florida's mentality? And Coach in the building. I'm getting ready to go on the back of the page again. Maybe I should start doing these profiles more often because Friday is always my best day. Always on Friday when I'm approaching 30 likes. Going to the back of the page and people, because I write everybody down, right? I'm at the bottom. I'm going to have to add another profile day in there. Yeah. But Willy Pep, he retired. He had 260 total fights. 241. I'm sorry. He won 229. He lost 11. And he had 1 draw with 65 knockouts for Willy Pep. And I'm going to look at the Sadler fights too in depth because we're going to have time. Now let's look at his post-career. Okay. Post-career Willy Pep. That's kind of long. Okay. Now after retiring, he and Sadler became friends, and they were involved in a series of exhibitions. Now, in 1980, Pep sued Sports Illustrated magazine for running a story suggesting that he threw a fight during his career with a guy named Perez. Now, Pep lost the lawsuit. The jury only deliberated 15 minutes before ruling against him. Wow. He didn't have a good case, or he had a bad lawyer or something. They only deliberated 15 minutes. So the jury probably said, yeah, Willie, you really threw that fight. That's what it sounded like to me. Okay. So he sued Sports Illustrated, lost the lawsuit. But he remained active in boxing after hanging up the gloves. He served as an inspector, boxing inspector, and a referee. Yep. And in 1977, he was elected to the National Italian American Sports Hall of Fame. In March 2006, he resided at a nursing home in Connecticut, diagnosed with dementia pugilistica. And he passed away on November 23rd, 2006. He is buried in Rocky Hall, Connecticut. He had 4 children: William Papaleo, Mary Papaleo, Michael Papaleo, and Melissa Papaleo, and 3 grandchildren: April, LJ, and Holly. Look at some of the honors the great Willy Pep earned from his storied boxing career. In 1945, he won Fighter of the Year from Ring Magazine. Okay, that's the prestigious one, Ring Magazine's Fighter of the Year, 1945. And like I told you, he was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in the inaugural year of 1990. Went into the old timers category because that was the first year they had it in 1990 and had all those fighters like Joe Louis, Rocky Marciano, Sugar Ray, Willy Pep, Archie Moore. So they formed a category called the old timers category for all the guys that had retired years ago, but was going in on the inaugural year. And Willie was a part of that group. Okay. Now he was ranked 6th on Ring Magazine's list of the 80 best fighters of the last 80 years in 2002. And he was also named the 3rd greatest fighter, not featherweight fighter, of all time by Burt Sugar. And he was ranked number 5 on ESPN's 50 greatest fighters of all time in 2007. And on the Cash Sports the Boxtorians list, top 10 all-time list, Willy Pep was number 4. Only ones in front of him was Henry Armstrong, Muhammad Ali, and Sugar Ray Robinson. Willy Pep is my number 4 all-time fighter. Okay, that's high praise. Cash Sports, that might be a little bit more prestigious than Burt Sugar, Ring Magazine, Box Rec, all that. Cash Sports the Boxtorian, number 4. That's high praise for Willy Pep there. What y'all think? Number 4 on the Cash Sports list? Yeah, that's high praise. Now, just kidding. No, but it is high praise. I'm not kidding. Okay. Now, Willy Pep was voted as the greatest featherweight ever by the Houston Boxing Hall of Fame in 2014. Now, seriously, that is high praise because the Houston Boxing Hall of Fame is made up only of current and former fighters. Okay. No writers, no boxtorians, no historians, current and former fighters. So that is high praise there. And they ranked him the greatest featherweight ever. Current and former fighters. Okay. In 2011, the city of Middletown, Connecticut, constructed the Willy Pep skate park, named in honor of Willy Pep. Okay. That's where it was from, Middletown, Connecticut. Okay. And then in 2023, a movie called The Featherweight, based on Willy Pep's life, premiered at the 80th Venice International Film Festival. It was directed by Robert Collardi, and the biographical film stars James Matteo as Willy Pep and focuses primarily on the period before Pep's 1965 comeback. Yeah, I'm glad they left that out of it. Yeah. It just did the first part of his career, it didn't do that comeback. But in that comeback, he had 48 fights. If you remember, he had 241 altogether. Yeah. 48 fights. Now, Lawrence Williams Jr. played Sandy Sadler in the movie. You know Sandy Sadler had to be in it. I mean, he had to be portrayed in it, but that was a big 4-fight series. That was a big part of his career, those 4 fights. When you say Willy Pep, you know, historians or boxtorians, when you say Willy Pep, you think Sandy Sadler. And when you say Sandy Sadler, you think Willy Pep. Okay? Yeah. So Lawrence Williams Jr. played Sandy Sadler. Stephen Lang played Pep's trainer. His trainer was named Bill Gore. Eric Gilchrist played his son Billy. Ron Livingston played Pep's manager. whose name was Bob Kaplan. And Ruby Wolf played Pep's wife, Linda. Now, there was a thing called a no-punch round that Willy Pep bragged about, right? Now, what it was a claim that he won the third round in his fight against Jackie Graves on July 26, 1946, without throwing a punch. I don't know how that's possible. The other guy must not have thrown a punch neither then, right? Because if he only landed a couple, then he would have won the round. Because Willie claimed he won the round with no punch. Now, the no punch winning round is disputed. Several contemporary newspaper articles make no comment or no mention of all of it, you know. That would have been in the paper if that actually happened. And an account in the Minneapolis Star describes the third round as toe-to-toe slugging. So how could it be no punch? This newspaper said it was toe-to-toe slugging. And Pep inflicting his best punishment with a right to the body. So there goes the no punch round. This newspaper said they saw Willy Pep land a right to the body. Okay. Now, before the fight, Pep supposedly tipped off a few ringside reporters that he was going to win the third round without throwing a punch. Okay. Now let's talk about that, a little bit about those 4 fights with Sandy Sadler. Okay. All right. The legendary rivalry between Willy Pep and Sandy Sadler. Okay? Sandy Sadler versus Willy Pep. And I got that thing in the way. Get out of the way. It went before a minute. That's okay. That's Willy Pep down there. You can see part of his name. That messes it up. Okay. Sandy Sadler and Willy Pep. Now, they both in the International Hall of Fame. Okay. I believe they both went in that old timers category in the inaugural year of 1990. And this rivalry would be a fundamental part of Willy Pep's story and Sandy Sadler, but this is Willy Pep today. Now, both of them had opposing styles, okay? Okay, bear with me for a minute. I can put my notes over there. I don't need to stay in the way. Friday, May 24th, okay. Anybody coming? Yeah, Willy Pep and Sandy Sadler both had opposing styles, right? Here we're going to have some link time in the future. Now, Pep relied on quick footwork and agility, and he lacked power, while Sadler was a master at cutting off the ring, and Sadler had devastating punching power, okay? So they had opposing styles, classic boxer and puncher, okay? And in a surprising turn, Pep lost his world title in a 4th round knockout. That was the first fight, right? Then the rematch was just 2 months later. And that rematch is considered Willy Pep's greatest performance. And also one of the best fights in history. And when he won that fight, he became the first featherweight since George Dixon in 1898 to reclaim the title. Remember, I've talked about George Dixon. He was the first black person to win any kind of championship. Late 1800. And then Willie defended his title 3 more times before the 3rd fight against Sandy Sadler. Okay? Now, here they are right there, Willy Pep and Sandy Sadler. Okay. Well, Willie landed something. Now, that must have been that 2nd fight there. The Willie just got something good in on him. Now, before the 3rd fight, okay, he defended his title 3 times before the 3rd fight against Sadler. Now, remember, during that fight, he suffered a dislocated shoulder during the 7th round, and he didn't come out for the 4th round. So Sadler took the title back in that one. Okay. Now, Willie took some time off the hill, and he returned to the ring in January 1951. Now, despite not fighting for several months, they continued to exchange insults back and forth through the media, waiting for their rematch. And after Willie won several non-title fights, he faced Sadler for the fourth and final time. And the fight was also in 1951. Okay. BN Boxing News in the building. What's up, BN Boxing News? How are you today? I appreciate BN Boxing News, man, because he's a Devin Haney fan, but he's a boxing fan first. Got so many of those fans that just, just fans of a boxer. Yeah. The BN Boxing News is definitely a boxing fan first. Big time knowledgeable boxing guy, and he's in the building. Salute BN Boxing News. Also got a fire channel over there too. Does post fights sometimes. Fire. I tried to find him the last time, but that fight went off late the week before last. I don't think he came on because that fight went off late, man. It was like 2:00. Yeah. But anyway, they had their fourth fight in 1951. They were exchanging insults back and forth in the media, and it turned out to be one of the dirtiest fights of all time. The fourth one was a doozy, man. Remember, Nat Flasher, Ring Magazine, said they did every dirty trick known to an old-time fighter. And both fighters were so determined to harm each other in the fight that they refused to separate despite the referee's instructions. And the referee was Ray Miller, and he definitely lost control of that fight, man. Pull it up and watch it. That was a crazy fight. Now, during the fight, Pep's right eye was injured by Sadler's thumb in just the second round, and it put him in difficulty. And by the seventh round, it had got so bad, Willie had to surrender again, because remember the third fight he surrendered because of the separated shoulder, and he was leading that on all cards in the third fight when he didn't come out for the ninth round. No, 8th round in the third fight. This fight, it was the 9th round. His eye got so bad, he gave it up in the 9th round. And this fight is remembered as one of the most brutal fights in boxing history. So much, it was so bad that both of them got suspended after the fight. Pep got 17 months. He wasn't able to come back to boxing until April 52. I don't know how long Sadler got. But guess what? Despite all of that, after the fights, they developed a very close friendship. And remember, I told you they went around doing exhibitions after their careers. Yeah. But a rivalry like that, you can't help but to get respect for each other. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like I said before, he retired in 59, but he came back. But it wasn't briefly. He had 48 fights when he came back. And there you have it. Willy Pep, remember, he had 241 fights, won 229, lost 11, one draw. And losing 11 out of 141 fights, that's just like less than 5% of his fights. So that means he won about 95% of 241 fights. Incredible. The will o' the wisp. Willy Pep. Mike Mercick says, Cass, can you do a profile on Jimmy the Cat Dupree out of Jersey City, New Jersey? You box in his gym. Okay. When you was young, thank you. Yeah, let me write that down. Mike Masick. Had to make sure who it was, Mike Masick or Mike Graham. It's Mike Masick. Okay, Mike, you got that. Jimmy the Cat Dupree. Okay. That will probably be 2 weeks from today, because next week I had already planned the Mongoose, Archie Moore. But Jimmy the Cat Dupree will be, I think, what will that be? June the 7th. I think it's June the 7th. But it's coming up, Mike. I appreciate that. right? That's what I want. And not just profiles, any kind of boxing show you want to see, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Remo, you still in here? We got to get a put it in the chat t-shirt, man. But yeah, like Mike Macy just put it in the chat. He wants Jimmy the Cat Dupree. And Mike said he boxed out of his gym when he was young. Okay, from New Jersey. Coming up in 2 weeks. Jimmy the Cat Dupree. And let me see if I have anything else on Willy Pep. I appreciate everybody rocking with me today. Like I said, Friday is always my best day. I'm gonna have to do it 2 profiles a week. I'm serious, man. Monday is the JBT Network show, so no. But yeah, I'm gonna put the link in now. Anybody want to come chop it up? Come chop it up. I think it's a card. Is it still? I think it's a card tonight, right? Let me get the link in first, then I'm gonna look that up. Yeah, this is a great time to be a sports fan, man. We got our sport, boxing, the greatest sport of them all. You know, we love it, can't get enough of it. And then we got the NBA playoffs going on. I'm bringing you daily updates on that. NHL playoffs going on too. Baseball rolling along strong, man. And then June starts next week, and then July. You know what happens in July? NFL training camps open, and football starts. So man, we are in great shape as boxing fans. And yeah, it's a card tonight, I believe. It was at the beginning of the week, and it's 3 cards tomorrow. You know, the big one is Jack Catterall. Jack Catterall and Josh Taylor. I don't know why I keep getting them mixed up. That's the big rematch. What y'all got on that one? I got basically the same thing, man. I think Jack will get him again. I just hope they give it to him this time. You know what I mean? I hope they give that man his win. He still can't get undisputed. He should be in there with undisputed record books. It's actually 19 4-belt undisputeds now. 9 men and 10 women. Okay, 17 of them are still active. The only 2 4-belt undisputeds that's retired are B-Hop and Jermaine Taylor. The rest of the 17 is still fighting. Yep. And of course, the first man was B-Hop, and the first woman was not the GOAT. It was the lady from Norway. I'll give you her name in a minute. The GOAT was the first person to do it in 2 weight classes. Then Bud Crawford, Katie Taylor, and the Monster. Katie Taylor and the Monster actually did it a month apart, remember? Katie Taylor was November of last year, and the Monster got it in December. The second division of Undisputed. I'm putting the link in if somebody want to come chop it up. Chop it down. Tell me how good you like the show. Or tell me how much you hate it. Whatever, you know. I ain't gonna cry until the show go off if you tell me you hate it. I ain't gonna cry in front of y'all. But yeah. Appreciate everybody. We got like 40 minutes before the voice. So I'm gonna put the link in. And everybody is welcome. Oh, come on, Cass. You've been doing this long enough. Oh my goodness. That ain't the link. What am I doing? But as everybody, this is a long weekend this week. Memorial Day. Isn't that the official beginning of the summer? Right? Oh, I got it right. I'm right and didn't even realize it. Everybody got these big cookouts planned. Don't forget the JBT raffle for the 55-inch color TV. I wouldn't mind having that. I might get in it. Jay Hardcore said I could get in it as long as I spend my $10. And that's the man that started the JBT. So if Jay Hardcore said I can get in it, I can get in it. Okay? So nobody can't say nothing. All right, there's the link for anybody who want to hit it, or if not, I'll keep on running my mouth. There's the voice. What's up, Just Do Boxing? Salute. The voice coming up about a half. I'm warming you up for him. Just Do Boxing. He's going to build. He had another fire one yesterday. The voice is so informative. I learned a lot about that Rod Garcia situation. And so I want information of what's going on currently in the sport of boxing. Just go over there to the voice and you'll get it. Okay? And you'll get it right, nice and balanced. The voice of the streets. Just Do Boxing. And guess what? He's a member of the JBT. Corey Finks. Told you. If they don't know about that JBT, they will know. That we ain't playing. And I'm the treasurer of it. Yeah. I got to call you too, Jay Hardcore, because I got a couple names that got in the raffle. I don't have no idea who they are. It's probably somebody, but it's like they use like the government names, but they probably, I know them probably as the YouTube handle. So I'm gonna call you after a little later. Maybe you know who they are. It's two names. I don't have no idea who they are. I'm not gonna put the names in here though. You know, it's one of y'all. Use your real name on me. Yeah. So we're gonna run them likes up to 40. I need 16 more. Yeah, I'm serious. I'm gonna do another profile day because Friday is my best day by far, always. That was the like record was made on a Friday, 34. So yeah. And now I got 24. But salute Joy Finks. Hashtag JBT in the building. Missed the profile on the Willow the Wisp, Willy Pep. Next week is the Mongoose, Archie Moore. And then, brought to you by Mike Masick 2 weeks from today is Jimmy the Cat Dupree out of New Jersey. Mike Masick boxed in his gym when he was young. I didn't even know you boxed, Mike. All right. Mm-hmm. Out of Jersey City, New Jersey, Jimmy the Cat Dupree. I'm gonna check on him. Oh yeah, and we will be profiling Jimmy. And anybody else, anybody wants to see, just let me know. I'll get it done. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to find the lady that was first female to be undisputed in the 4-belt era. I just talked about it yesterday. Remember? She's from Norway. You might remember her name. Tim Layton wasn't in here yesterday. If he had been, he would have her name in the chat by now. I'm serious. If Tim had been in here yesterday, what's the extra name? He would have had it. It would have been in there by now. I promise you it would have. Tim got one of them memories, man. One of them Howard Cosell memories. Yeah. Sometimes I believe I asked a question one time and Tim had it in there before I finished. Asking the question. As soon as Cecilia Brækhus, or however you pronounce it. Yeah, she was the first woman to be undisputed in the 4-belt era. She sure was. Yeah. She got it like 2012, something way back there, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we had 10 women and 9 men. It should be 10 men too because of Jack Catterall, right? He won it, but they didn't give it to him. Remember? Yes, he did. They cheated him. One judge got it right. It was a split decision for Josh Taylor, right? So one judge got it right, but the other 2 didn't. And we went over judges' criteria Wednesday. And if they had been going by the criteria I went over Wednesday, Jack Catterall definitely won. But they couldn't have. And what about Dave Moretti, man? He's still judging. And you know that man judged the fight between Sugar Ray Leonard and Marvin Hagler in 1987? And he's still judging? Isn't that crazy? And I believe he's 81 years old. I read that somewhere. He started judging in 1977. Okay, this is 2024. That's 47 years. And he wears glasses. I think in football and basketball and hockey and stuff, if you wear glasses, doesn't that disqualify you for being a referee or an official? I believe it does, but not boxing. But they sit right there on the edge of the ring, touching the ring, so they should be able to, judge the fight fairly. Oh, you had a very short career, Mike. Mike says, very short. I can't take that shit. Too many hits happening in the ring, yeah. Well, at least you got it there, Mike. My career was very short, like 0. I spent 0 minutes boxing. So your career way longer than mine was. I boxed out in the street, though. I wasn't undefeated, either. I got beat on the bus one time, and that was bad. Everybody saw it. I got him back, but it wasn't on the bus. I won the rematch. But this was street boxing, not street fighting. The only rule in street fighting is win. Is win. Yeah. Yeah, I got beat on the bus, man. That was embarrassing. Got to school the next day. Everybody was talking about it. But it was all good. I won the rematch. But it wasn't on the bus. But we got a long Memorial Day weekend coming up. What everybody got planned. Anything good? The game 2 of the Western Conference Finals is tonight. The Dallas Mavericks at Minnesota Timberwolves, and Dallas has a 1-game lead on them. Minnesota lose this one, they in trouble because they got to go to Dallas after this. Down 2-0. It's hard to come back from that. Not many teams lose in any sport the first 2 games at home and come back. So what's the story? Is Ryan? Is it official? Did he do it intentionally or what? I don't know. The jury is still out, I guess. There was something about it. One of his hair follicles or something was negative. So I don't know. But it was in him. So what do they do at a no contest? Does Devin get the belt back? Or Ryan just gets... Devin still got the belt because Mauricio never took it from him. So yeah, that answers that. But with no contest, that goes on the record, right? So then Devin will be still undefeated, right? He just have it like a no contest, and the win comes off of Ryan's record. Is that how it works? I guess. I thought we would know everything Wednesday, but no. It's still controversy surrounding it. I think he cheated intentionally because remember how he came in 3 pounds over? That was intentional. So why wouldn't he put that stuff in his system intentionally? We had 40 yet. 25, 15 more likes to go. We got 30 minutes to get 15 likes. 29 minutes to get 15 likes. And like I said, 40 likes, the bag will get hit 400 times in a Hangout Sunday. I don't know who's going to hit it yet. But that bag J Hardcore got will get hit 400 times by somebody. I'll go over there and hit it like 20. So we got to get 380 from somewhere. But 15 more. Yeah, I was still working on that schedule for tomorrow because it's a card tonight and 3 tomorrow. It was at the beginning of the week, at least. I don't know if they changed it. I'm pulling it up now. Almost there. What is tomorrow anyway? The 25th? Yeah. This time is flying by like crazy. I remember I was just sitting here saying, how was everybody's weekend on Monday? Now it's Friday. We had another weekend. Okay. I'm going to see what's happening this weekend. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Today's the 24th. From Poland. I'm not even going to fool with that first name of the city. Or the first boxer's name. Lawrence Oakley is fighting somebody. I don't know anybody else on the card. Now tomorrow, Leeds, England. That's the big one. Josh Taylor and Jack Catterall. Shavon Clark, Ellis Zorro. Yeah, I heard of them. It's a bunch of English fighters. Emmanuel Buttigieg, yeah. And also tomorrow, Christian and Billy in action. Mr. My offense is my defense. As soon as he get in there with somebody, like a Canelo or a Benavidez or a Morrell, he going to sleep. Somebody gonna punch right in between that offensive attack he got it and put his lights out. The man have no defense at all. Right, Jay? At all. I got that from Jay Hardcore. Yeah, the man has no defense. He just come out there winging. But tomorrow he's fighting, I don't think it'll happen tomorrow. He's fighting, I just had it. Mark Heffron, 10 rounds, super middleweight. Mark Madab on the card, heavyweight. Junior Farr, okay, not bad. Yeah, we got 3 cards tomorrow. Wow. And the third one is from Denmark, Copenhagen, Denmark. That's Dina Thorslund and Seren Satin. That's for the WBC, for Thorslund putting her WBC and WBO bantamweight title on the line, okay? Dina Thorslund. Good, great, real good female fighter, yeah, Dina. Okay. I believe she's from Denmark, Copenhagen, Denmark. That's where that card is. Yeah. Let me refresh this. See how close to the 40 we done got. A little on 25. That's okay. But everybody has to hit the like because I counted. Well, we got more likes than people. Oh, some warriors must have hit it. I got a couple warriors, Jay. Because I got more likes than people that's been through the building. Thank you, warriors. And not only watching, they hitting the like too. That is good. Yeah. And then AB, I was looking for AB yesterday, so I could find that now since we got the time. And yeah, Saudi Arabia, remember they moved Deontay Wilder and Zilly Zhang to the main event because Paul versus Malik Zanard, that's not a main event. I don't know though. That is a great card though. Hergovic versus Du Bois. Raymond Ford putting his titles up against Nick Ball. That's next weekend. When is AB fighting? Oh, June 7th. Okay. The week after, man, we are we in, man, like a kid in a candy store. I ain't gonna say that other one. It'd be disrespectful. You know about the blank and, you know. I ain't gonna say that. Like a kid in the candy store as boxing fans. AB and Blair cards. I got AB. Of course, it depends on which AB shows up now, you know. I think he's gonna let his hands go this time. He let him go against the attorney. Pretty good. We was watching that on Aunt McQueen's the other night. Yeah. And yeah, AB let his hands go. Yeah. Don King Productions. Ain't there something? Don King and the Barfather both up in their 90s, still doing it. Both of them. 20 years from now, they'll be like 110, still promoting fights. The Barfather and Don King. That's crazy. Suppose this guy Malik Zanard goes in there and beats Bivol. So much for the Bivol better be a fight. Wouldn't that be something? That would really be something. And that Wilder and Zhang is going to be interesting. Very interesting. Looking forward to that one. It's next weekend. 1 week away. Next week will be fight week for it. Yeah. Raymond Ford and Nick Ball. Nick Ball ain't bad. I saw him when he beat Isaac Dog. Nick Ball ain't bad at all. No, he isn't. I thought I had a long profile today, but I went through it too fast, I guess. But everybody stayed in the building. I told you Fridays is my best day. You might be seeing 2 profiles a week. Would y'all like that? 2 profiles a week? Or is 1 enough? I'll think about it. And also, we got the fight between Patrick Teixeira and Xander Zayas. June 7th is on a Friday. So the AB card is on a Friday. Okay. Yeah, June 8th. Xander Zayas, Patrick Teixeira. I think Xander is in his first main event. That's one of those top-ranked cards. Bruce Carrington. Bruce fighting 10. Tiger Johnson. All those top-ranked youngsters. Jahai Tucker. Facio Falcon. Elijah Flores. Where's Ali's grandson at? Is he still fighting? And then, you know what's after that? The face of boxing. Gervonta Tank Davis, that monster from Sandtown, Baltimore, Maryland. Okay? Sandtown. To be from Baltimore to know about Sandtown. Against Frank Martin for the WBA lightweight title. And the co-main, David Benavidez. Appreciate you, Trump, for stopping by. I was talking about you yesterday, Trump. Remember, everybody I was saying, where's Trump at? So I gave Trump his wrench and he disappeared on me. But I did not say he would be back, and there he is. Back in the building. Oh, you like 2, Trump? Okay, there's 1 for 2. Okay. Because everybody seems to like those profiles. Everybody stops by on Friday. Even got the Warriors hitting the like button. That's huge. And we got the Voice coming up in 20 minutes. Okay? Don't miss that. The Voice got something good every day, each and every day. And it's because it's still early in the JBT day. Oh, today is Friday. Friday night hangout. Oh, man. Yeah. I almost forgot. So we got the Voice coming up in 20 minutes. We got the Friday night hangout tonight. And the Mighty Rise podcast at 9 o'clock. Man. I almost forgot. Yeah. We get, I missed them evening hangouts, but we get one tonight. The Friday night hangout. BYOB or BYOW. Bring your own weed, or whatever. Yeah, BYOW. Bring your own whatever. Because tonight is the Friday night hangout. Buckle your seatbelts. That's always fire. And it's tonight. It's early in the JBT day. I'm only the second act. We had the morning hangout, then me, then Just Do Boxing, the voice of the streets, the Friday night hangout, and the Mighty Rise podcast. And we've been getting some casual corners in there lately too. And BN Boxing News is out there. Casual's Corner and BN Boxing News don't have a regular time, so turn your notifications on, hit the bell icon, and hit all. Because you want all that fire content that they putting out. Yeah, JBT Network. I almost forgot. Today is Friday. Yeah, we get an evening hangout today. I'm going to have to run to the store. I got some coolers, but I might not have enough. But I will be in there with something. I'm going to bring my own booze. I don't do anything else. But I'll be there. Yes. And it's the big holiday weekend, Memorial Day. Y'all gonna have them grills fired up over the weekend. going through the neighborhood, just cookouts. The official beginning of the summer. But like I said, summer officially begins in June, but Memorial Day is the unofficial beginning, right? Just like Labor Day is the unofficial ending. Yeah. But I really appreciate everybody for sticking with me today. Life's looking good. Life is great. And a Friday night hang up. 15 minutes, stellar voice. I gotta get me something to eat, and then I'm gonna check out the voice. It was fire yesterday. They was talking about the Ryan situation over there. Yeah. But them Devin Haney fans is something else, man. One Devin Haney fan was killing Ryan for cheating. So I put it in the chat. All I did was put Regis' name in there. Immediately went on the defense. Oh, Regis said Devin's weight was okay. But you just putting this other man down about cheating. Why can't you be neutral and say Devin potentially cheated with all that weight he had on him? Oh, no, immediately went on the defense. But not all of them. Like being Boxing News is a boxing fan first. It's some good Devin fans. There's a lot of terrible ones. They just different. They different. There's no disrespect to nobody, but they just different. But let me get off. And of course, during the conversation, they talking about Ryan's drug test. But the Devin Haney fan, guess who he brought up? I only have to say it. He had to bring Tank up. And I put the chat. I knew he was going to work Tank in there some kind of way. It's crazy, man. Had to bring Tank into it. Tank ain't got a damn thing to do with Ryan's drug test. But they just can't resist. Can't resist. Devin wanted to be Tank, and his fans want him to be Tank even worse than he do. But I'm going to stop. Because I don't want to disrespect all the good Devin Haney fans. I like Devin too. Mm-hmm. But some of those people turn you off, man. It's a turn off. But it's all good. It's boxing, our sport. Boxing is the greatest sport of them all. Because like I always say, it's just one-on-one, man against man, woman against woman. You can't tell the trainer to send somebody in off the bench, you tired, it's just you. You get that break between rounds, and when that bell rings, get on back out there. Or if you can't come back out there, you lose. And I had an idea about the weigh-ins too. They need to get that 10%, not 10 pounds, 10% rehydration clause. It's not a rehydration clause, it's just 10%. Whatever weight you're fighting at, you cannot be 10% over that by the next day. And you don't have to re-weigh in the morning of the fight. You know where you re-weigh in at for the second time? You step on that scale, then walk down the aisle and get in the ring. That way, you are right at the weight you're supposed to be at. Because if you can put on 25 pounds from Friday to Saturday night, you can put some pounds back on from Saturday morning to Saturday night. So no, when the ring announcer says, whoever's coming down the aisle, you just got off that scale, right? That's how I would do it if I had a sanctioning body or ran a state boxing commission. And that's a big part of the problem too. All of these state boxing commissions, it just varies from state to state. Now, in the NFL, you play a game in New York, you play a game in California. You're playing under the same rules, right? So how come boxing is the only sport that's like that? You can do this in one state, but you can't do it in that state. It's ridiculous, man. It should be universal overall, at least in the United States. Now, different country, you might have different rules, because in basketball, international basketball have different rules than the NBA. But in the United States, it should be universal all across the board, man. That's a big problem. And that weight issue, man, it's just a big problem. And they're talking about how dangerous, the danger Ryan put Devin in with the steroids. But 8 fighters coming in way bigger than the other one when they 25 pounds over the weight limit. Isn't that putting his opponent in danger? And themselves too. what they're doing to their own body, and not just Devin, anybody squeezing down into a weight that they should have been moved up from. That's why they have weight division. You know, it's a process. And I don't like it when these guys just jump like Jamel did, go from 154 to 168. Supposed to go through all them old school guys. They didn't do that. Now they might have went from 147 to 168, but guess what? They went from 147, 154, 160, 168. They didn't just jump 2 or 3 weight classes like that, man. You got to get up there and fight some fights. See how you feel at the new weight. See how you feel getting hit by a bigger man. You know what I mean? But Jamel just, whatever, that was a money grab. Everybody knew what that was. He was going for the bag. He wasn't even Jamel doing the press conference to lead up to the fight. He was all timid, like a little kitten. It wasn't lions only, it was kittens only. Never seen that man like that before. Looking at Canelo in the press conference like he wanted to ask for his autograph or something, you know? And Jaime, why do all those guys do Canelo like that? Jaime talking about it's an honor to fight you. No, you're supposed to be, I'm trying to get in there and knock your head off. That ain't no honor. Tell him after the fight it was an honor to fight you. Come on, man. I don't want to hear that there's no boxing fan. You honored to fight him. It's a fight. You know? Like Willy Pep and Sandy Sadler did. They became friends after their careers ended. But for those 4 fights, they hated each other. Wasn't no honor or nothing like that. They hated each other's guts. And that last fight, you know, I told you when the referee said break, they didn't even want to break. They wanted to stand in there and battle, wrestle, box, rugby, whatever. It wasn't no honor. They absolutely hated each other's guts. But after the careers was over, then the honor came in. They became good friends. They started doing exhibitions together. Then it was an honor to have fought you, but there ain't no honor to fight you when I gotta get in that ring with you. No. I don't understand that, man. Mr. Canelo pay these guys or something? To look up to him or something? I don't get it, man. I just don't get it. Caleb Plant, he in the ring asking Canelo what he think about his performance. Come on, man. What kind of shit is that? You in there fighting this man and you asking him how you doing. How am I doing, Canelo? Get the out of here, man. What did Canelo do to these guys, man? That's crazy. Y'all remember that? I'm not lying. Caleb Plant asked him what did he think about his performance. I think it was like the 8th and 8th round. During the round. How am I doing? How you gonna beat this man? You worrying about what he feel about your performance. Come on, man. Bivol didn't ask him no shit like that. Bivol got in there and took care of business. But that's crazy. You in there fighting the man, asking him how you doing. He deserved to get knocked out. Yeah, Gotti and Ward, Trump. Exactly. And became really good friends after the fights. Yeah. But when them fights was going on, it wasn't no honor to fight you or nothing. It was I'm trying to take your head off in this ring. Yes, they did. They beat, like Trump said, Gotti and Ward beat half of their life out of each other and became really good friends. That's how Sandy Sadler and Willy Pep did it. Them two right there on the screen. They hated each other's guts. All 4 of those fights. But then they became friends, you know, like Gotti and Ward. You know, you get in there and beat on somebody all those fights like that, you can't help but earn some kind of respect for them, you know. It's just human nature, man, you know. Like, damn. This man had me all bloody and bruised up. I'm gonna give him his props. But after the last time I fight him, I'm gonna give him his props. But if I gotta fight him again, I ain't giving him nothing. Give him these lefts and rights, 1s and 2s, 3s and 4s, 5s and 6s, 7s and 8s. That's what I'm gonna give him. You know? But that's boxing. We love it. We can't get enough of it. It's the greatest sport of them all. You know? I think it is. You know? You don't have no help. You can't call a timeout and go over there and get some water or some Gatorade or something and let somebody else come in and take your place. You get that in between rounds. And you better get it quick, because when they're round, then you got to get on back in there, or the fight's over. You lose. That's why I love boxing. It's an individual sport. Your coaches, trainers, whoever can holler instructions and stuff to you from outside the ring, but they can't get in there and help you. Now, in the old days, they did. People like in the 1800s, people that man losing, they jump right in the ring and start fighting. Yeah. In the Olympics one time, I think it was in South Korea, their man got a bad decision. Some of his friends jumped in the ring and beat the referee up. Remember, I talked about that earlier in the week. I think it was like Tuesday. They jumped in there and beat the referee up. That's what Tony Weeks deserved after that Barroso fight. Barroso people should have jumped in there and beat his ass, man. Stop that fight like that. But they made a good point. Tony had been in some stoppages where, like the Badu Jack one, he was all bloody, and Tony might have been a little shell-shocked. And wasn't he in a fight one time where he didn't stop it and a guy went into a coma? I vaguely remember something like that. I think Tony was involved in something like that. But I really appreciate everybody rocking with me today. It's Friday. I'll be back Monday. But remember, it's still early. I'm just the second act of the JBT day. Just listen to this. We got Just Do Boxing coming up next, The Voice at 4:00, okay? And then we got a Friday night hangout tonight, okay? And then we got the Mighty Rise podcast at 9. And then you might get a Casual's Corner. Aunt McQueen breaking down boxing. Nobody breaks it down like Aunt McQueen. And then you might get a BN Boxing News. Oh, that's JBT, man. Ain't nobody doing it like us. They might try and think they is, but they not. And we still young. We don't even have a year yet. And look how we doing it already. JBT, Just Boxing Talk. A group of people who just love to talk boxing. That's all. And you don't need to have a podcast or nothing either. You ain't got to have a podcast. All you got to do is love to talk boxing. That's all. That's all, y'all. I'm getting ready to close it down now. Open up the history books and put this Cash Sports in it. Another week, really. But Jory Faints, hashtag JBT. Just Do Boxing, The Voice. Coming up in about 5 minutes. BN Boxing News. Another great JBT channel. That's how we doing it. Florida's Mentality. Hosted by Dr. Mark. Florida's Mentality and Black Excellence, by the way. Hosted by Dr. Mark. Was in the building. Always great to see Florida's Mentality, man. Great brother there, man. Great brother, Florida's Mentality. I love to listen to that brother talk, man. That's knowledge there. Salute Florida's Mentality if he's still in here. Coach Thomas Morris. That's our personal. We got everything in the JBT. Fashion people, personal trainers. Thomas Morris trained Lonnie Lotz. Do I need to say more? Lonnie Lee, hashtag JBT. With salute Lonnie Lee. Ray Patterson, straight out of New Jersey. J Hardcore, hashtag JBT. The founder of the JBT. That's him, JBT Network, too. Bruce Gass, Boxing, Jazz, and More, another Friday History channel. Guess what? That's where the Boxtorian goes to get his history. Bruce Gass. Okay? Al Booger in the building. Salute Al Booger, another fire JBT member. Azim Shabazz was in here today. First time he in the building. I hope it ain't his last time. Really enjoyed having him. And then Let's Talk Fashion. Hashtag JBT. That's Remo. Speaking of fire JBT channels. That's our fashion show. We got a fashion show too. See that? I told y'all about that, JBT. We got a fashion show. Who else? Name another one of these organizations on here got a fashion show. But we do. And it's fire. He just did one Wednesday. Check it out. I ain't just talking to be talking. Check it out. The proof is in the pudding. Hashtag Let's Talk Fashion, aka Remo, hashtag JBT. Okay? E-Class was in the building. fire supporter of Cast Sports E-Class. And Trump was in here too. Trump gave me the idea for the Salvador Sanchez profile. You want to see profiles, put it in the chat or shows. And Tim Layton hashtag JBT. Tim Layton got one. That's a very knowledgeable guy there, man. He put stuff. You asked a question. Tim Layton had to answer in the chat before you even finish asking a question. And Mike Grimm, it's good to see Mike Grimm. His birthday was yesterday. Good to see him back in the building. Everything went well with his operation. Hope he's doing well. Good to see you, Mike Grimm. And Mike Masick is always in the building. Like I told you, Mike Masick beats me and Miss Cass in the building sometimes. Salute Mike Masick. And Miss Cass hashtag JBT, the executive vice president of Cast Sports and the brains behind the operation, because it's not me. Salute Miss Cass, one of the queens of the JBT, along with Melanin Queen 27, Miss Joette, Miss Just Do Boxing, Barbara D, Heather E. Barbara D and Heather E, okay? And this Cast Sports is getting ready to go in the history books, but I appreciate everybody. I'll be back Monday. And we're right up on The Voice now. I believe we got 1 minute. So let's get on over there and see what The Voice building about today. The Voice doesn't cook, he builds. Don't meet me there, beat me there. That's where I'm going. See y'all. Have a good weekend. Cast Sports. Don't forget, The Voice, 4 o'clock. Friday Night Hangout, 8 o'clock. Mighty Rise Podcast, 9 o'clock. Turn your notifications on. Hit the bell icon. Hit all. You might get a Casuals Corner or BN Boxing News. Cast Sports. I'm out. See y'all.